starting off, you know what? I need to start this live though. Starting off, I want to get into this Gayle King topic today, man. Because there's so many different kinds of this Gayle King situation, and I'm not really. Well, we can touch on all of them, but I'm not really interested in the different back and forth. I'm more interested in urban media aspect. I'm more interested in how black people that are in mainstream media are portraying other black people when it comes to media. And I think that that's one of the reasons why I started doing media. That's one of the reasons I started doing media, and that's one of the reasons why we do this show here. Because I think it's important that we tell our own stories, because we often have our stories told from a different perspective.
From different people who's not in
our culture, right? What I don't understand is that when we have people from our culture, other black people, that make their way to these mainstream platforms and still continue to broadcast media in the same form of non-blacks and the same type of media that we oppose.
Right.
And that seems to be an issue with me. Did everyone catch the Gayle King interview, or the clip of the Gayle King interview?
Yeah, I caught the clip. I thought it was, I think, what I'm saying, when you're in a position that you are in a position of being in front of the camera, you have you have a say so whether you want to do a story or not do a story, or even create the content for the interview.
Right.
And I feel like, at the time, especially when the family's still mourning and stuff like that, I just felt like it was distasteful.
Speak on.
I mean, and you know what I'm saying? Because, granted, it's a situation that probably did, it's a situation that happened, but it happened years and years ago, where you should never have a situation where you talk about this and it affects his man's legacy. His legacy was bigger than what happened at that particular time.
I agree. And for those who are just tuning in on social media, I just got my line up and going. So those who are just now tuning in on social media, we are back again, and we're discussing the Gayle King and Snoop Dogg situation. And I'm gonna rewind a little bit, but what I was saying previously before going is that the reason I got into media, and one of the reasons that we do this show, is because I saw a difference in the way mainstream media portrayed stories or coverage when it comes to Black America, and it often seemed like there was a bias and there was a negative aspect to it. And I'll get more specific. We all have seen news coverage where we've seen a victim of a homicide, or we've seen an athlete go through some type of trying situation, or we even see an athlete do something great. But particularly, we've seen someone die, since we're talking about death. And we've seen someone that probably we've known in our own particular city, or other people know in other cities. When someone dies in the black community, it's almost a given that the mainstream media is going to broadcast their criminal history if they have one. They even go further sometimes to even put a picture of someone's mugshot when they die up as a picture of the person that represents the person. I've always had a problem with that. We can go back further when we talk about the Trayvon Martin situation. This happens when black people are facing, well, in this situation, he was another person that died. But even when black people are facing issues in the judicial system, we had a Trayvon Martin situation. Trayvon Martin was a victim. One of the tactics the media used, well, they were portraying Trayvon Martin to be a thug, a gangster, putting up little situations he might have had with in his school.
Because he wore a hoodie.
And because he was a black person wearing a hoodie. Let's be more specific. He was a black person wearing a hoodie. So these negative images of black people exist in media, and we all have to acknowledge that. When it comes to Black America, we can go further. We can go further a little bit. We can talk about music, right? We can talk about music, or we can talk about television. When we talk about movies, when we talk about television, historically, black people have been portrayed in the earlier days as slaves, as maids, as housekeepers, as drivers, as some type of service worker to white people. When we get in modern times, black people are portrayed as criminals, as thugs, as gangsters. We rarely get the
lead role is boss.
Well, we really get a role where it's not a stereotypical negative, right?
Right.
These are the images that are put out to the world. The world, right?
But they also keep it in rotation, though. You know what I'm saying? That's what a lot of people miss, too. They keep it in rotation.
Okay, now let's go a little further. When you look at media organizations, there used to be 7. I think it's down to 5 now. There are 5 main media organizations. You have Disney, you have... Somebody look them up for me. You have Disney, you have Universal, you have 5 major companies, right? And all these other companies fall under the umbrella. Like we have Viacom, you have BT, MTV, all these fall under that umbrella, right? So when it comes to media, even music, even your record labels, these are all owned by billionaire white people. Not one black person owns a large mainstream media organization. We have independent small companies.
Right.
The main large companies are owned by non-blacks, right?
Definitely.
So when we'll take rap music. Hip hop music is the number one genre in the world right now. When you have music, you have people get on rappers about the content that rappers spit on their songs, right? But there's a bigger picture to this.
This is what
record labels are only signing certain type of acts. The record company decides what type of music is being put out on a major platform. Radio companies, radio stations, iHeartMedia, these are owned by wealthy white individuals or non-black individuals. The music they play on their broadcast, it's not just like a DJ gets up there and plays a record. These go through program directors. These songs are approved on a corporate level. When they decide to sign a hip-hop artist, when they decide to sign an artist, this is a corporate decision. A corporate decision. And what happens is, a lot of people feel that this was done in the late 80s or early 90s as a way to portray negative images to hold black people down, right? I'm not saying that's out of the question. What I'm saying is, I don't have any evidence to back that up, right? But what I will say is this. I think, are we just not going live?
I mean, but you also can look at the content.
Are we just not going live on mine?
Yeah. You didn't push it.
I thought you did it.
It's okay. It's on the radio, man. They can hear it on my live, so you can kind of continue.
Okay. But okay.
It's on here too.
Well, will you share this to my thing? Here's my phone. Will you share yours over to mine? But what I'm saying is that. No, what I'm saying is that.
Momentum, baby.
Yeah, content momentum. Because the people missed a lot. If you missed a lot, my live just went on.
I tagged you in ads.
Smack Tiana for doing that, but no, we're talking about media, how black people are portrayed in media. So when you go back to these major corporations, they decide what artists they're going to sign. There's not just a rapper comes up here and says, "Oh, I'm coming up with this song," and it comes out, right? No, this goes through corporate. Corporate decides. It goes through A&Rs. It goes through corporate executives. They decide the outlook of the project, what direction the project is going in. They decide who to sign. These major corporations are only signing negative entertainment when it comes to hip hop, right? You have a few. You have a J. Cole here and a few there, but as a norm, they're signing negative material, right?
Right.
So I said that to say this. When it comes to mainstream media, black people have always been the sacrificial lambs to get ratings. Always. What that means is that people love to see train wrecks. Train wrecks will always get the highest ratings or the most attention. If they decide to broadcast someone dying in an electric chair, it'll probably be the highest rated show on television, right? But they won't do that based on it being morally incorrect, right? However, they have no problem taking black people and putting our negative aspects out for the world to look like idiots or to look negative or to portray negativity. They have no problem doing that to get high ratings. I'll give you another example, right? All throughout the crack era, what did record companies do? They signed gangster rappers that pushed a drug-selling message, correct?
Definitely.
We all saw this. We love the music, right?
Definitely.
That was a decision made by record companies because record companies had no problem with portraying the negativity in the black community. Now we're in an opioid epidemic. I guarantee you will see no major mainstream record company signing white acts talking about pushing Oxycontin to their people or portraying the use of Oxycontin to their people. It will not happen. Black people are the sacrificial lambs when it comes to music, when it comes to television, when it comes to media. Now, getting back to us, for those that missed on my live, we started this show to portray black messages, black news, black media from our perspective. Because we've always felt like mainstream media has incorrectly portrayed us and is biased towards us. I'll say it again for those who didn't see it. We all have seen the images when black people die in our community. What's the first thing they do? They put up their mugshot. They have a criminal record. They broadcast a criminal record. It's the first thing they do. The first thing they do. Black people are never, or rarely, I'm not going to say never, for every positive story about a black person, there's 50 negative ones. So that's why I took such offense when Gayle and Oprah have huge platforms. Huge platforms. They have the platform to show the world black people aren't just all criminals. There's only 10 to 20% of our community that commits crime anyway. They don't show the positive, right? So I'm not saying that in Kobe Bryant's situation, that the situation didn't take place. What I'm saying is that I see an agenda here. This is a 17-year-old case that was dismissed. In America, we always talk about this is the land of second chances. We talk about criminal justice reform. We talk about this is the country where people make a mistake, they're able to come back from their mistakes, right?
Right.
It's hard to do in America. People with felonies, especially if you're black, it's hard to overcome that, right? Here's a case where the man didn't even have a felony. It was dismissed. The case was dismissed 17 years ago. To put in perspective, T, you weren't married 17 years ago. You didn't have kids 17. That's how long ago it was. The case was dismissed. It was dismissed. If you had any questions about that, you could have interviewed Kobe over the past 17 years. You bring one of his close friends on national television. To ask his friend about his legacy. What was the point in bringing up a 17-year-old case that was dismissed? And if you did want to bring it up, as a journalist, I'll give it to you. If you want to say, okay, well, there's been reports of people discussing his past rape case, right?
Definitely.
This is the problem I have with that. I pay attention to media closely. No mainstream media outlet covered Kobe's 17-year-old dismissed rape accusation when he died. No, you had small outlets and you had other people on Twitter that were resharing old articles from the case, right? Here's my issue with it. Why give someone that has a very small voice that wants to spread negativity a large voice by discussing that on your platform? You made it larger. That conversation wasn't a mainstream conversation. But if you wanted to bring it up as a journalist and you wanted to touch on it, right? That's fine. But you persisted. You asked Lisa, you said, hey, people are bringing up his old rape accusation. How do you feel? Lisa Leslie emphatically said, I've hung out with Kobe. I've known Kobe for years. I've been in close with Kobe. And I have friends that are aggressive towards women like, hey, Lisa hooked me up with this dude. She's like, Kobe wasn't that guy. I've never seen that. And Gayle went further to push her agenda and say, well, you're his friend. You wouldn't see that. Why wouldn't she? So you call her dumb now? Why wouldn't she?
My thing about the whole situation was, it was like, she kept pressing. That's number one. She kept pressing.
It was as if she already had her mind made up that Kobe was guilty.
She kept pressing. Number two, it's taken away from all the good stuff that he's done his whole career. And you just, you know what I'm saying, you marginalize it to one situation.
Okay, let's go back. Well, let's go back. Let's go back to this agenda. Because I'm going to tie y'all in. Just stay with me. There's an agenda here. There is an agenda here. When we talk about Gayle King, when we talk about Oprah Winfrey, I'm throwing Oprah in there as well. When we talk about these two people, since the Me Too movement went viral in 2017, it's been around since 2006. Actually, this is MySpace. There's a black woman that actually started the Me Too movement. It didn't get any traction to 2017 to Melissa Milano. Am I saying it right?
Yeah.
Is it Alano or Milano?
Milano.
Yeah.
Melissa Milano. Remember the chick from Who's the Boss?
Yeah.
That's her. She shared a tweet in 2017. It went viral in one day. This thing kind of took off. I have no problem because I actually believe women have been victims of sexual abuse and assault in Hollywood, in workplace. I agree with all of that. I have no problem with that. My issue is, since 2017, when it comes to mainstream media, black men have become the face of the Me Too movement. I'll give you examples. You have Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby was the first one. I'm not judging Bill Cosby guilt or innocence. If he's guilty, then he's where he deserves to be. I'm simply talking about the media coverage. Bill Cosby was everywhere. After that, you had
Michael Jackson.
We had Russell Simmons.
Yeah.
After that, we had R. Kelly. We had Oprah do a documentary on Michael Jackson despite some of the accusers being proven as lying in the past. So you've had Oprah and Gayle cover these black men, right? 5 or 6 of them. I'm going to bring up some more. I think it was 5 or 6 of them. We have Oprah and Gayle specifically cover these people, right?
Yeah.
But there are 300 men. 300. accused in the Me Too movement. We have Kevin Spacey. We have Harvey Weinstein. Harvey Weinstein, people don't even know, for the past 2 weeks, he's been on trial. The prosecution rested Thursday. Friday, the defense took over. He's on trial. Tell me a time. Tell me right now, if R. Kelly was on trial right now, wouldn't every day dominate the headlines? They'd be live from the courtroom. You'd be getting quotes from witnesses that were on the stand. Heck, when 6ix9ine was on the stand, they didn't have cameras in the courtroom. We got quotes from 6ix9ine. It was going viral. Every outlet covered it. I'm on media outlets every day. Very few media outlets are covering the very Harvey Weinstein trial. They'll do a little 2 or 3 minute thing on it, and it's over. It's not a viral topic. It's not a major topic in our culture. For the past 2 weeks, we've been talking about Donald Trump and his trial, his impeachment trial, and Kobe Bryant. We have not talked about Harvey Weinstein. Kevin Spacey had his case charges dismissed. We've had 300 people. 300. I think of the 300, 10 of them are African Americans. How are African American men the face of the Me Too movement getting all the media coverage? All of it.
Don't forget your boy now.
Who?
Cuba.
Cuba Gooding. I'm not opposed to covering African Americans that commit crime because it is news. I'm not opposed to that. What I'm opposed to is that we're covering African Americans at a massive rate and we're not covering other groups. But we expect that in America from the mainstream media outlets that are non-black. It's happened to us. Like I said, for those who didn't get it, we're portrayed as gangsters, killers, and drug dealers in movies. When they decide to sign rap artists, there are no black label heads, not independent labels. I'm talking about major label heads. When you're talking about Universal, you're talking about RCA, you're talking about these major labels that are owned by white corporate entities. They have the power. The executives there have the power to sign and promote and market positive material in the hip hop community. They choose to only sign gangster rappers with negativity. But I guarantee they would not sign that in their own community. Again, I'll say it again. Throughout the crack era, throughout the 90s crack era, these major label heads made a conscious decision to sign rappers that were pushing the drug dealing message. I enjoyed the music as well. I'm not saying I didn't. It was part of my life, part of my culture. I enjoyed it. What I'm saying is that that's the only type of music they choose to sign, right? Now we're in an opioid epidemic. They are not going to sign. I guarantee you, these white label heads are not going to sign rappers. And we got a lot of white rappers now. They're not going to sell white rappers that are promoting opioid or heroin use to their people. It's not going to happen. Are you aware of what they're doing now? I watched the presidential debate for the first time in my life on the stage. I heard white men saying, oh, we need to decriminalize opioid use because it's an epidemic in our community. You had one candidate stand up, a white candidate stood up and said, well, what happened to black people during the 80s and 90s when they were being locked up on marijuana and crack cocaine?
Which one said that one?
Buttigieg said it.
Oh, okay.
However, he's locked up more black men for marijuana use since he's taken office as mayor in South Bend, Indiana. They brought that up in his face too. He didn't have an answer for it. So what I'm saying is this. What I'm saying is this. I am disgusted that Oprah Winfrey and Gayle King have a major platform to accurately portray black people in the media. They have that platform. Eyes are on them. For those that don't know, when Gayle did the R. Kelly interview, she was given an $11 million deal after that from CBS because that interview was so successful. And I applaud her. I applaud her for that, right? My issue is that you have an opportunity now to portray African Americans in a different light, or a fair light, even if you want to cover the criminal cases fairly, right? But you choose to stick to the same format and the same agenda that non-blacks have used to exploit us. Now, this is her argument. Her argument, she got on her live, said this is the first time I've ever used Facebook Live. Because those comments was kicking her in the butt. Kicking her, knocked the weave off her head. So,
she got a wig.
So, the wig is a wig? Okay, so she got...
You sweating hard, bro.
So, she got on Facebook Live, and this is her argument. She got on Facebook Live, and her argument was that if she saw that video, she would have been upset. I'm angered. I'm appalled. I watched this, and CBS, my parent company, took snippets and pieced them out there and didn't show the whole interview, and I would be mad if I seen this, right? So my response to that is, Gayle King, you had absolutely no issue when CBS, the same company, took snippets of the R. Kelly interview and had him up there screaming, "You're trying to destroy me! You're trying to kill me!" That got to you $11 million. That thing went viral. People made rap songs, videos. They was bebopping to it, remixing it and everything. You had no problem. You didn't stand up and say, R. Kelly's not going to get a fair trial because of this. He's not being represented correctly because of this. You applauded it. You didn't speak out once. But now that your same company has done that to you, you have a problem with it. But this is what Gayle King didn't understand. When you work for non-black media, you get the same treatment as everybody else. Because here's the issue. Mainstream media is about ratings. Let me repeat that. Mainstream media is about ratings. The higher the ratings, the more they can charge advertisers for that content. So what Gayle didn't realize that everybody can be sacrificed for ratings. Right. Even her. Even her. So when Snoop Dogg responds, his tirade was profanity laced. That's who Snoop Dogg is. However, this is the thing. The city of LA is hurting right now. The city of Kobe is one of LA's, even though he's born in Philly, they consider Kobe one of LA's, because I made the analogy, Kobe is to LA what Muhammad Ali was to Louisville. That city, when I watched Snoop's interview on Ricky Smiley, he said, man, people are walking up in the street just crying. People are walking up, this is how bad it hurt our community. 5 rings in that city. 17-year career. 20-year career.
But
in that city.
Got there when he was 17.
Okay,
so.
20-year career in that city. That man represented LA to them. So Snoop felt like not only you're attacking a black person in media that wasn't necessary, you're attacking our golden boy. He's not in the ground yet. They even had services yet.
See, that's the thing that makes it even worse than what it is, because he's not. I mean, the whole thing was distasteful. Period. Okay. And back his family's still mourning his loss. No memorials or nothing like that. Why would you do the interview? Why? I mean, at this time.
And I give it a benefit. It was only a small part of the interview, right? Because they touched on, I watched the whole thing, and they touched on a lot of topics, right? But look, this is my thing. I listened to 50, and they asked him on the red carpet, right? And he said, I don't understand the end goal. Like, he's dead, right? So to bring that up, the case was dismissed. So the legal system handled it the way they saw fit to handle it. It's over, right? There's no retrying him. There's no punishing him. There's no nothing, right? The legal system made their determination. So you bringing this up is what? To try him now in the court of public opinion after he's dead and can't defend himself? What was the point in bringing it up? What is your goal here?
And I know you said it was a small part of the interview, but they took that small part and made it bigger than the interview.
Because they took the little clip.
Right, they took a little clip of what she said, and that was bigger than the whole interview. And you couldn't even tell, you didn't even know when the interview was coming out after they released that small clip.
Right.
But what sucks is people are upset that they're turning down this black man, but y'all have to see the I can't say it.
Hypocrisy.
Thank you.
Hypocrisy.
You have to see that, and now we're turning around. They are turning around and doing the same thing to her.
So to her. See,
hold on.
But still,
I don't agree with calling her out her name, turning it down.
But I'm just saying, it's still turning down black people.
Hold on. Look, this is my mentality with this whole thing. You with us or against us? You with us or against us? You come out against us publicly, then you like them. You no longer a black person to us.
I understand that, but it still doesn't take away from the fact that we're still turning down black people.
Who's black? Her? She's no longer black doing that. You born from this community. No, that's my thing, right? Look, I'm tired of black people that want to play both sides of the fence. There is immediate attack on black people out here right now. We all agree on that, right? So when another black person teams up with a network and does that to another black person, I'm done. Throw them to the wolves. Throw them to the wolves.
I get what you're saying.
You can't cry about your punishment when you're the one that throw the blow.
I get what you're saying, but at the same time, it's still a different vibe, because Michael Dyson he made a response that was not profanity laced. I called him out of our name.
Snoop is not Michael Dyson. We all have our own. We can respond the way we want to respond.
I'm not saying
look,
that you can't.
look,
okay, but the thing
I
about
disagree.
but the thing about it, at the end of the day, regardless of how you feel, your personal opinion, she's still a black woman.
To you. Okay. To you. And this is my thing. This is my thing. If you look, I believe in this. You can't judge someone's response when you throw the first blow. You can't tell someone how to react. You can't say, I'm going to attack you, but you have to stay in these rules and parameters of how you attack me back. It doesn't happen like that. It doesn't happen like that. And y'all can disagree. I disagree.
I didn't say, I don't have any feeling toward it, but I'm just, you can feel passionate and you can feel the way that you want to feel. I just specifically said, look at how the hypocrisy of it is. Like,
it's defense, not hypocrisy. So if you hit me in the mouth and I hit you back, then I'm just as bad as you for hitting you back.
The point is, it doesn't matter how you see it. Like this is just my point.
I disagree.
You can disagree, but you don't have to. Again, you do it to me. You sitting up here trying to tell me I can't voice what I'm trying to say.
You can do that. I just disagree.
Okay, but you was great by my hand off about it.
Because I know where you be. It's a woman, so that's your stance on.
Okay, because we the bottom of the totem pole.
I disagree.
Black women are. Yes, no.
Y'all sit here and dog black women, men daily.
Oh my!
You can't. You look. That's
black
the thing. Check this out. Check this out.
Black men do the same thing.
Hold on. Check this out. Check this out. There were articles on Twitter last week of black women bashing Kobe for marrying a non-black man, a woman. This ain't come from black men.
Ooh.
But what I'm saying is that's the spin I see. That black women are trying to turn this into a black woman thing. It's not. It was an attack on this man that's dead. It has nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with that. Y'all trying to make her a victim because she a black woman when she threw the blow. I'm not making her a victim. She ain't no victim. She get everything she deserves.
But at the same time, though, here go the problem, and this is it. Because y'all done separated from a black man, black woman, that perspective.
Because that's not the argument here. That's what they're trying to make the argument.
Right. That's what I'm saying. But at the same time, like I said, in my opinion, she was dead ass wrong, or she was dead wrong. My bad.
And she got what she had coming.
And of course, but when you do that to a person that with his legacy is way bigger than that particular, you're gonna get this response. Because there's still people mourning, there's still people hurting, and still like, now, if she would have did this interview maybe 5 months ago or something, 5 months later, it might not be as bad as it is now. But when they still mourning, and he's still, they still ain't buried him.
Gayle King is not a victim in this situation. People can try to make her a victim all they want to. It's not a victim. It's not hypocrisy. Sean, if you punch over the table and hit me in my face, right, and I say you wrong and I hit you back, I'm wrong. No, it's a defense.
No, but okay.
You wrong.
Okay, but the thing about it is,
don't start none, won't be none.
Right, but I get this. But if T hits you in your mouth and you hit T back, then you still be considered wrong because you're a male. Regardless, listen to what I'm saying.
But we're not talking about
right.
We're talking about.
Right. I'm just saying. If you see the same thing, if it's male versus female and stuff like that, then it's a different way that the world will portray it.
I don't subscribe to that.
Right. I'm not saying that it's wrong. I'm just saying if you see something like that.
I don't subscribe to that. I'm like this. That is a dangerous message. There's always been a dangerous message towards African Americans in our community. And we all agree with that. And let me tell you, the dangerous message has been. The dangerous message has been that black men are dangerous. That's been the dangerous message. It's been portrayed that black men are murderers, black men are killers, black men are to be feared. That is the message when we're talking about who's victimized out here. Black men are deemed as one of the most scariest people, violent, dangerous people in America. And it's always been portrayed that way in the media. So we don't get continuing to push that narrative. On a major platform, you continue to pushing the narrative that a black man is a rapist. You know how many black men, when you pull up the Innocence Project, you know how many black men are being freed from prison right now, have been in prison 20, 25, 30 years, they've been accused of rape, and now DNA tests are setting them free? Right. Because in the media, you can get on television, and you can portray a black man to be a rapist. Especially in this situation where it was Kobe and a non-black woman. It was Kobe and a white woman. That's been the narrative in America. Now you have a black woman on television pushing that narrative. And she's the victim here? Absolutely not.
I never said she was a victim.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I was appalled when I watched it. I'm like, why is it a part of the interview? Why is this a part of the interview?
Okay, but my thing is, okay, so after you say this, and after you see the whole interview, what is still your take on the interview?
Exact same way.
Still the same
exact.
way?
You know why?
I mean, even though that you said that was a small part of the interview,
It didn't belong in there, period.
Right. And now I agree with that. I totally agree when you talk about his legacy. That don't got nothing to do with his legacy.
None.
I agree
Dismiss
with that.
case.
But, you know what I'm saying? But like I said you watched the whole interview.
Yep.
And you still feel the same way.
It was wrong. Okay. I feel it was wrong. And I go further. I'll tell you what I do feel. I feel that Gayle King got $11 million for portraying R. Kelly when that video went live. Gayle King was primed for another viral moment. And it backfired, because guess who went viral? Her. That's what happened. She was going for another, that made her career. What nobody talking about Gayle King before then? Before that R. Kelly interview? Gayle King wasn't held as a top-rated journalist. Nobody was trying to get a Gayle King interview. That R. Kelly interview went viral. She was portrayed as the woman in the back. Look, the calm black woman. Look at the message that went out. Irate black man, and a picture of her sitting back with her hand like this. Black men have been portrayed as the most dangerous people on the planet. We're the people that walk down the sidewalk and women clutch their purses. We get in the elevator, women don't want to be in the elevator with us. This has been the message. So now you have a situation where you have a black male accused of raping a white woman. The case was dismissed. Gayle knew why it was dismissed at the time. Let's take people back. At the time, it leaked out that the rape kit showed more than one semen in her underwear, suggesting that she had sex with more than 2 or 3 men in a 24-hour period. Her friends were leaking out conversations that she was bragging about sleeping with Kobe before her boyfriend found out. Gayle knows all this. But Gayle was looking for another viral moment, but in particular, another chance to make a black man look bad on television. So, as a public, explain to me, if the argument is Gayle as a black woman is a victim, why hasn't Gayle King interviewed any of the 300 white men accused in the Me Too movement of sexual assault? All her interviews have been of black men. So we have Gayle King interviewing covering topics of 5 black men accused of sexual assault. None of the 300 white men. And each one, you're bringing up what you did with R. Kelly. That's fine. And Kobe, you bring up something that's not fair, right? And now, when it finally turns on you, people want to see you as the victim. We watched you do it 5 times. Where's your white? What? It will make sense to me right now. Harvey Weinstein is on trial currently at this moment. Right. Why doesn't Gayle have Harvey Weinstein friends up there? Why don't Gayle have, right now when the trial is going on, why ain't she outside the courtroom? Why don't she have people that, hey, you dealt with Harvey Weinstein, like she brought Lisa Leslie up there. You've been knowing Harvey Weinstein 20 years. You ever heard anything funny? You ever seen anything funny with him? It's not happening. It ain't there. It's not there. It is not there. And what burns me up is that instead of seeing what the agenda is, we're taking this moment now to pit it as black women versus black men, women versus women, the victims all the time. That ain't the issue here. The issue is that black people have been portrayed negatively in the mainstream media since media began. We always wanted a voice so we can accurately portray our stories. Right. When we get up there and tell our story, we have more black people doing the same thing. Then we got other black people caping for them. I don't get it. I'm confused out here. I get out here and do this media and tell all these positive stories, or if I do tell a negative story, it's from the positive perspective, or at least to give you a fair shot. I don't get how we side with this mainstream tactic of doing business. I don't understand that. I ain't never going to understand that. Never. As a journalist, I was appalled watching that because there was no morally. When we watch these stories, sometimes we say, man, morally, okay, like we look at Trump. And the things Trump did, right? And they say, legally, he was within his rights, right? Legally, he was within his rights. But morally, this is wrong. That's how I look at the Gayle King situation. Legally, as a journalist, yeah, you can ask the question, but morally, it was not right. There's a picture with Kobe and Lisa 5 years ago. 2 years ago. Kobe and Gayle. She's posing with him, right? So why didn't you ask these questions when you're alive? I don't get it. 17 years ago, you interviewed all these people. Why was it not a Kobe Bryant interview? Why is he dead, not in the dirt, and now there's a Kobe Bryant interview about the rape case? Why? I don't get it.
I mean, I look at it, and this is my personal opinion, that every great, successful black man, that, you know, when it comes to their legacy,
they tarnish it going out the door.
They try to tarnish
They tarnish it.
at the end of it.
They ain't throwing black women in jail. They throwing black men in jail. Bill Cosby is the only person currently in jail from the Me Too movement. Currently. Out of 300 accusations. And I'm not saying Bill's innocent. I'm saying everybody else is non-black is not being, every other man that's non-black is not being held to the standard of other non-black men.
But we also know that there is two types of laws. You know what I'm saying? It's a law to govern the country, and it's a law to govern black people, and they're not the same.
It's not. But
we both know. But we know that. We've been on it.
What makes it more personal is this. What makes it more personal is this. Who are the largest victims of mass incarceration?
African American men.
Black men. Black men. 1 of every 4 black men has a criminal record, correct?
Correct.
1 of every 5 black men will be stopped at a traffic stop, correct? Black men, when you see these videos of people getting shot on camera, majority by police officers, who are they?
Like what?
Exactly. So my point is, in the criminal justice system, black men appear to be the most hunted people, the most demonized people, right? Here you have Kobe Bryant, where he's dismissed. You can't even say that you're doing this for convicted people. Dismissed. And you still bringing it up. Why? Why?
I don't nobody know. I mean, we know what it was. It was to get views, get ratings, you know what I'm saying?
At the expense of who?
At the expense of
a black man.
Definitely.
At the expense of black men. And that'd be my argument. It's like, they act like we out here, like we not the ones out here hunted. We the ones out here being shot on camera. We the ones out here being thrown in prison. We the one out here doing all this. Now, she the victim?
I didn't say she was a victim.
For pushing a criminal agenda on a group of people that already have the criminal agenda pushed on them by the system. You're furthering. You are an extended arm of white supremacy in this situation. And we mad because somebody called her a bitch? Man.
Go get you some water, man.
Man.
All right, man. So coming in, we do have a guest in the building.
Get this microphone.
You know what I'm saying? How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How y'all doing this?
Can you introduce yourself?
What's going on, everybody? What's happening? Well, happy afternoon, everybody. It's your soul singer, Key Vocal at Power 106 is going down. Listen, y'all, it's some tight tension in here. I ain't never seen my man Brad like this. This is a serious thing. Every time I see this man, he's chilling back smooth. But this is some real stuff they're talking about. I'm glad I walked in and caught what he's talking about.
It's my life. I'm a convicted felon.
It's my life.
I'm a convicted felon. I don't like people pushing that agenda for my own people. That man was found. That man does not have even a misdemeanor.
It's not right. It's not right. And every day we continue to move with it. And all I can do, I don't even know if I was supposed to be talking on
Now go ahead, man.
You
You can speak on whatever you want to speak on.
I'll speak on the victim side of it is, yeah, you right. We blowing it way out of proportion because how many times have you sat in the room and called another family member a B?
Call yourselves that.
You call yourselves that. So first of all, y'all can miss everybody with all of that. She called that, and he said that. The threat is a little bit of pressure to it, but still at the same time, we have to look at what is going on. She is stomping on this man's grave and he ain't even in it yet. That's what upsets me. And if it was your family member, you would feel the same way. But because we've been catalyzed by social media and mainstream media to believe everything that comes out of everybody's mouth in the negative light of how it comes to end, we want to side with Gayle being the victim.
Oh, no. She don't get no pass. That's what y'all fail to realize. Ain't nobody giving her no pass. We didn't give her no pass. I don't think I don't think T was giving her a pass.
I wouldn't.
I don't think that, you know what I'm saying? But everybody will have their own opinion about it, and then everybody got a strong opinion about it.
But don't discredit, because see,
a lot of people still feel like it was distasteful.
But just even the whole conversation, I felt like I was being discredited for what I was trying to say. I get talked over a lot of the times, and I can be just as passionate about something as much as you can. So it was just like, that was uncomfortable, which is why I had to walk out. Because it's just like, let me have an opinion. Don't overtalk or try to discredit what I'm trying to say too, because I felt like black women are on the bottom of the totem. Like, that's my feeling. Like, that's how I feel. That's what, like, you can sit up here and you can go on for however long you did about how you feel as a black man. I'm telling you as a black woman what it feels like to me. We are the bottom of the totem pole. We do get disrespected the most. That's how I feel. That's all I was trying to say. I didn't say I was agreeing with Gayle. I didn't say that, she's the victim. I didn't say any of that. The conversation was a little bit different. We kind of came away from that. I just said black women were at the bottom of the totem pole. That's my opinion. That's how I felt.
Hold on.
That was it.
Let me say this. This is my argument on this, right? This is my argument. And me and T have this all the time, right? Every time there's a situation where black men are being victimized or put in a situation, right? A group of black women step up and say, hey, black women, hey, that's not the case here. Like, there's a valid time and place when black women are in that situation, right? And I just feel like this isn't it. I feel like every time black men are going through something, black women try to throw this, what about us in there in a situation where it's not about you? You're making it about Gayle, but it really wasn't about her.
I didn't say
but
she
your
was a
argument,
victim.
no, you're sitting here saying black women are the most disrespected, but that's not the case here. The case is
women.
Kobe being disrespected. It has nothing to do with black women.
You said black women are always dogging out black men.
No, I said in response to black women saying that black women are the most disrespected people here. I said all of us are disrespected.
Okay.
Black women, look, this is an argument that needs to cease in the black community. As Tiandra feels, black women are the most disrespected people, right? Black men feel the same way. As a collective group of people, we dog each other. Black women are allowed to sit here all day and say, black men ain't crap. They ain't SHIT. They ain't this.
And
they don't work.
I said was,
wait a minute.
Black men do the same thing.
That's my point. I'm saying that we do this to each other, but that is not the argument in the Kobe Bryant thing. This is not a situation of a black woman being attacked. It's a situation of a black woman or a media person attacking a black man. It's the same thing that white people do. It just happens to be a black woman doing it. I don't understand or respect how people are trying to take this argument being like, now it's a black woman victim thing. This is not the argument. There's a time for that. But this ain't that argument. This is pursuing the 200-year thing of black men being put, or black people. It could have been a woman up there of black people in mainstream media being put as a criminal or a victim. This time it just happened to be hurtful because another black person was doing it. But I don't feel it's the time for the black woman, black man. It's like, what about us? In the middle of something that don't have nothing to do with y'all. That's my argument with it. Every time we have a case,
but that's the separation. That's the separation within the black community that we need to stop.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, we all black. Whether
I don't even know where that came from.
But like I said, we do have a guest in the building. So and that's not to discredit what you're talking about, because that's a topic that needs to be talked about more often. But let's get to the guest and the reason why we have him here today.
What's going on, everybody? I'm back. It's your boy, Keith Vocal. It's interesting. The reason that I'm here today is to tell you about an event for Valentine's Day, and it's called The Power of Love, which we need right now. Definitely need to. If we're going to address a solution for the situations in our community and that we're facing with, it's black versus media to me. And it's always going to be black versus media. It's always been black versus media.
Them versus us.
Them versus us.
Right.
We got to love on each other, you all, because as much as we give the power to say white media does this, white media does that, we know who got the influence. We know where it really comes from. If we really want to change things and move things, we need to gather ourselves together and make that shift and change. Don't nothing pop unless we make it pop. Don't nothing happen and make it the thing unless black people say it's that thing. So when we decide to put all that aside and come together and realize our power together, I think we'll be able to move a little bit forward.
Well, so you're saying united we stand, divided we fall?
Divided we fall. That's it. That's the motto.
And I think, with that, I think, when they break it down further, they always, a situation always is us versus us instead of us versus them.
But look, it's been that way. But if you want, look, if we look at it this way, look, this is my point. We can't take a stand. We can't take a stand when it's convenient to take a stand, right? Because here's the thing. All of us sit back for years, have jam and bop to Snoop Dogg's music. Snoop Dogg's brand has always been calling women out their name, disrespecting women. We've all listened to 8-Ball MJG, talk about pimping. We celebrate this. We go to concerts and shows celebrating this culture. But then when it's convenient for us to say we shouldn't disrespect each other, then we have an opinion. We can't have it both ways. That's the major hypocrisy.
Okay, no, I mean, but here go my thing, and the what I took offense to are the death threats. You know what I'm saying? Now, I could get, whatever somebody call it cool, that's whatever they feel. But the death threats, come on, man.
But you got to look at this too. Hold on, I'm not saying it's right.
Right, that's how I'm saying. The death threats are not right.
This is not a total black situation.
Right.
You had the sports community pissed off. You had white, Chinese, everyone pissed off at Gayle King for that. She offended the black community and the sports community. She offended all races with that. Now, I'm not saying death threats are right to anyone, right?
That's how I'm saying.
What I'm saying is this, though. Before being found guilty or even arrested, right? How many death threats you think R. Kelly got off her interview? But we're not caring about that because it's a man. You don't think people call and threat up that man after the documentary went? You don't think he got death threats?
I mean, but at the same time, ain't nobody saying that he did.
No, what I'm saying is,
nobody said that
what I'm saying, if you participated in the part that got him threats, don't complain about your part getting you threats. That's the hypocrisy.
Okay.
That's the hypocrisy.
We bought you up here. Go
He
ahead.
done came into a fast. I'm glad you talking about love.
Please,
Right back
please
into
promote
it.
your
Anyway, what is going on, everybody? Listen, if you love R&B, soul, neo-soul music, yes, neo-soul music is still alive and well here in the city of Louisville. Listen, we got an event for you. February 14th, Valentine's Day. On that night, next Friday, make sure you come out to the Power of Love. Get dressed, get fly, get sexy, put on something smooth and nice. It's going to be a live band. It's going to be a dinner. It's going to be a comedian there. It's going to be going down at the Hewlett Temple Fellowship Center. That's inside of Hewlett Temple AME Zion Church at the corner of 22nd and Jefferson. All you have to do is slide all the way down to Jefferson.
So we getting church love and food.
Oh, you getting it all. You
good music.
You know how they say you go to church and get fed? You finna get fed. And I'm so glad that I'm in the location that I'm at. They are so open and diverse to music and the change of the world around them. It's not gonna be no church music in there when y'all get there. So don't worry about that. It's gonna be some smooth rhythm and gospel. It's gonna be I got some music soul child for you. You got some D'Angelo, some Lauryn Hill, all the love songs, all the love. And Jill Scott will be there. Make sure that you have nothing else to do other than love your lover. If you got a lover, come on out. If you're single, tickets are $25. Come on out. If you got a couple, tickets are $45 for you and your loved one. You get a dinner. You can choose from a steak dinner, chicken dinner, or a salmon. We're going to have a comedian there. I want to tell you who the comedian is, but I'm not supposed to. It's going to be a surprise. Put it this way. It's y'all's favorite hip-hop pastor in the city. He'll be there and be a comedian for us.
I already know who it is.
You already know who it is? All right,
I
then
can tell by just what you said.
Yeah. We're going to leave it at that. There's going to be a mini fashion show. And there's going to be a photo booth there as well. KMF Band is going to be doing the music. Make sure you check them out.
How long is this event?
The event is from 7 to 11 p.m. Doors open at 7. The dinner will be.
Y'all keeping the church up till 11
yeah.
o'clock?
Oh, we're going to be all night, all day. The angels watching over.
Yeah, I got to have some holy water.
Yeah. Here's my thing. If they're going to have the communion table open, let's go. Ain't nothing wrong with a little bit of wine or anything, but don't come there looking for no wine. I don't know if we serving that. I don't know.
Y'all not serving. Y'all not serving. It's a non-alcoholic event.
Non-alcoholic event. If you want some wine, you got to show up on Sunday morning. But make sure you come out. The music is going to be great. Listen, if you have not heard KMF Band, you need to get down there. Tickets are $25. KMF Band has been revamped. We got a new sound, new groove, new musicians, and new singers. So make sure you come out. Be prepared to dance as well. Ladies, bring your flats. Bring your scoops, your slides, whatever you got to do, because we're going to party all night long.
All right.
Before we get out of here, we have to give away these tickets.
We got tickets.
So
we got tickets giveaway.
Last week on the show, we had We had the fellas up here from the, what is it?
Crimson and Cream.
Crimson and Cream.
Oh, no, I think I said it right.
It is the Crimson and Cream event. The brothers from the Crimson and Cream event. And we have 2 tickets. And the event it's a grown and sexy event. It's taking place, is it Valentine's Day weekend?
I think it's November 15th.
It's February 15th. It's Valentine's Day. It's actually like a gala. So you need to dress to impress. It's, the theme is red and black, I believe.
I thought it was Crimson and Cream.
Hold on. Let me get what I have in here. We're ready to go. It is.
And if you don't win the tickets to that, you can always find $25 and come to the Power of Love.
Well,
What you saying?
well.
The Power of Love.
Again, that's going to be going down February 14th. That's next Friday. $25, $45 for couples.
See, but I think, you know what I'm saying, with your event is on the 14th, I think their event takes off on the 15th.
Hey,
So-
well, it's a whole
my
weekend.
outfit come on down there.
Definitely. You know what I'm saying? I don't think they mind. As long as you come with a suit and tie, you know what I'm saying, looks spiffy.
I'm going to change the tie up, keep the suit the same.
Yeah.
No pictures the night before. Though.
Is that how y'all do it?
Hold all the pictures till the last night. I'm gonna wear this outfit. That's how we go.
See that, but ain't you performing though?
I will be performing. Listen, go turn up with the Kappas. I've turned up with the Kappas a couple of times. I've done their derby events with my band, so I know that they're going to be having a great time. I will be performing live. I'm gonna throw it down. I can't throw it all the way down because we're still gonna be in the church fellowship.
Well, you know what? Until Brad pull up the information,
We got
gonna hit us with something. Oh, okay.
We got the Crimson and Cream event, which is Saturday, February 15th. So it's a Valentine's Day weekend. It's at 715 Raggard Road. So that's right out there by the Walmart on King Run Road. This is the Kappas have some, this. It's not a Kappa event. There are a couple of Kappas that are helping promote and produce this event. It's Crimson and Cream Ball. So the tickets are $75 for a couple, and that's for the VIP. Am I correct?
Right, VIP.
It's $75 for VIP. That's a couple. So $75 for the VIP tickets, $65 for, I believe it's a single ticket for the VIP.
I thought it was 45, maybe.
Am I right? Look at this 65. Anyway, it's only Eventbrite. $30 for a single ticket, and I believe $45 or $55 for a couple ticket. That's non-VIP. So anyway, it's the old school Crimson and Cream Ball. It's something for the grown and sexy people to do during Valentine's Day weekend. There were a bunch of gifts that came with that VIP package. So if you go back to, I'm trying to find on the site. If you go back to our show from last week, the fellas were up here and they were telling you that there's food involved with the
cold
VIP.
bag.
There's actually a bag in a basket with the VIP. I think some food involved as well.
Yeah.
So this is taking place Saturday 15th. We're giving away 2 tickets. And these were $2 to $30 tickets, correct, Sean?
Correct.
$2 to $30 tickets. And you had to answer 2 questions.
Right.
The first question, what was the first question? The first question, I know one of the questions was you had to go on the website for, pull up these daily colognes. I had all this up. The daily colognes. Give me 1 second, I have it for you.
Too busy over here on your soapbox. Couldn't even
My
get
man
it together.
was rapping today.
Hey,
You done probably sweat it off about 3-4 pounds.
He was, you know what I'm saying, like TV Jakes mixed with a little too short. He was up here
he
killing
was
it.
in there. Come on,
Black men
George.
getting dogged out here, man.
Not to.
Nobody stand up for black men.
Right, but not to take away from what it was a powerful message.
They don't.
Today.
Look, we talk about it, but they don't. And that's the conversation we have on camera, but they don't. We the ones going to jail. We the ones getting shot. We the one the court system doesn't agree with when it comes to child support, when it comes to custody. We the ones.
I mean,
That's a whole nother, we have a whole nother song
Right,
on
yeah,
that. We have a whole song on that.
That's a whole nother
The criminal
show.
justice
That's what I was about to say. I'm
system,
gonna
the criminal
come back.
justice system is not designed in favor of black men. It is not. But anyway, we get to these tickets.
Yeah, it's these tickets, man. People want to. Hey, it's the love month. It's
Supposed to be.
It's the Black History Month. So let's
y'all certainly making history this Black History Month every single day. So
yes,
Okay, the first question was, of the 3 guests that were on the show last week, there were 3
Can't
guests.
see your comments. You got to give it back to your comments.
There were 3 guests. There were 3 guests on the show last week. Question number 1 was, name all 3 guests and the name of their businesses. That was question number 1. So there were 3 guests on the show last week. I believe the show is on the Urban Voices radio page. You can go find it there. You can also find it on the YouTube page, but they're all on the Facebook page. But there were 3 guests on the show. Name the names of the 3 guests and the name of their businesses. The second question was to name the fragrances. There were 7 fragrances, starting from last Saturday. Last Saturday, Jermaine.
You see, that's what I'm saying. You're going to have to give up one of the answers to the first question. With Jermaine, you're going to have to say his name because they're going to have to.
I don't have to. I can go to
okay.
I can go to his business page.
Okay. Well, it's still saying his business. So go ahead. No, but they still got to figure out who the last two was anyway. So go ahead.
Okay. The second question was go to the Matters of the Heart 502 page. Matters of the Heart 502 page, and there was a fragrance posted for 7 straight days. There was one posted last Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all the way up to today. Each day he posted a different fragrance. I need you to give me the fragrance for each day, starting with last Saturday to today. So we need the names of the 3 gentlemen that were up here last week that are putting on this Crimson and Cream. So the names and the name of their businesses, and then go to the Matters of the Heart 502 page and get these 7 fragrances starting back from last Saturday.
And if you do, the first person who comes up with both answers will get a pair of $30 tickets to the Crimson Cream Ball. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay.
So it's something special that you can give to your significant other. You can take it as a couple. You guys can go out to this ball next Saturday, celebrate Valentine's Day in style. I don't think Louisville has anything for grown and sexy going on that weekend that I'm aware of for adults.
I think the Cooler Gallery got something on that day also.
On that Saturday?
Yeah.
Let me wrap this up on the airways. You guys can stay on Facebook Live. We'll continue this contest. We're going to go ahead and log off. So thank you, everybody. Tune in to Urban Voices Radio every Saturday afternoon, 1 p.m. And we out here, people.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Damn, I ain't never hit in.
So if you're still on there,
That was a powerful show. You got like 119 views, 35 comments on my page.
So again, the 3 people on the show, we're gonna have a show. Look, people, we're gonna have a show about that though. We're definitely gonna have a show about that. And the show needs to be with the end result of black men and black women coming together in this culture, because there's obviously a clash in it. But as a black male, this is my feeling, right? This is my feeling. It offended me when we heard when it felt like the conversation was a black male again being demonized through the criminal justice system by Gayle King and mainstream media. When I saw that, and then it offended me when it felt like people were trying to take that narrative away by like, what about this thing over here, whatever, and that's what it felt like. And everybody's entitled to their opinion. What I'm saying is that as a black male, it feels in America that equally the black males and females are disrespected, but it feels like black males have this extended level of disrespect. And why I say that is that in the court system, and we can just look at the numbers, we are the ones in it. Even when it comes down to relationships with black males and black females, this is an option for women will go and call the police on black men, even at times when men are not wrong. I've seen that several times. To get out of my house, to get out. There's not a one versus other where I feel one is more. I don't feel like one is more disrespected than the other. I feel like we're hunted in the justice system. I feel like we're hunted by police. We're being killed at massive rates. We're being mass incarcerated. Systemically, the black man is portrayed as a dangerous human being.
Okay, here's my thing.
Go ahead.
It's not. We shouldn't be trying to see who can get the most points.
That's what's happening when we're talking about Kobe. Somebody says, "What about us women?" That's what it felt like. Like
okay,
you throwing the point in there.
Okay, but like right now, I'm trying to tell you, like it's not. Let's see who can get the most points. To see who's the most oppressed. To see who's the most disrespected.
You brought that conversation up. You're the one that said black women are the most disrespected people. You said that.
But you brought it up first.
No, I didn't. I brought up Kobe Bryant.
I think it was when we said that, said the way they're attacking her, when you feel like it was wrong. That's when she went and said that,
black women are the most disrespected people.
But it was all in the conversation because, like I said, to me, you can't do one without doing the other.
We all black people are disrespected.
But then you just said that nobody has the black man's back.
I didn't say that.
You didn't just say that not too long ago?
No, I didn't. I said black men
You
are the
said
most
no-
hunted men.
But
We
you
are
said-
portrayed as dangerous,
but
and
you
we
said
portray the
Oh,
bad.
nobody-
definitely, you signed the board too, sir. We apologize.
Why say nobody has black
you might
men
have
back
came
in
up here on the
America?
wrong day. Huh?
You honestly
Not-
believe
but
it?
you know
What, have black men's back?
Yeah.
I
But-
I don't. I think people have black men's back when it's convenient. I think
But
at
wait,
any given
but I'm
time,
just- okay, I
you
just-
or anybody else can throw us to the wolves.
But I'm
I feel
just
like
saying,
Kobe being thrown to the
but who
wolves.
has it the most?
Us.
Who has black men's back the most?
Nobody. Other black men. Other black men. Other black men. Other black men.
Oh,
Other black men.
Like, you know what? To be honest, he's 100% true to a certain extent.
Yes.
Don't nobody. No.
There's such thing as black men's rights.
Right, y'all can say that,
Yes.
but it's in reality. It
Yes.
shows that
where you going?
when it comes to certain situations like that, in mainstream media, in the system
Look,
of the government.
If you go to family court, say you
Right,
and your
that's
girl,
what-
right?
nah,
This ain't hypothetical.
Right.
If you and your girl have to go to family court, right? Who do you think before you even get in the door the court's in favor of?
Us.
Other men?
No.
Yeah.
Hey, that's motherfucker. I'm trying to make light of the situation.
Hold on, listen. If you're riding in a car, right?
Right.
And we get pulled over at night, right?
Right.
If a black male is driving or a black female is driving, who's more likely to get pulled over?
The black male.
We are the ones in society that are hunted. That's what it's offensive when y'all don't see that.
Nobody's taking that away from you, bro.
No, but
Like,
I know you're not, but it felt like when we're discussing
but I
Kobe.
feel like you just basically shitted on the fact that black women don't have black men's back.
Not in every situation they don't. You can't say every black woman has had every black man's back.
And every black man has every black man's
But
back.
I didn't make that accusation. You did. I didn't say black. I didn't say black men. I didn't say black men got black women's back the most. You made the accusation that black women have black men's back all
But
the
you
time.
made it sound like we don't have y'all back at all.
I didn't say that. I said not all the time. You said who has it more, and I said I don't agree with that.
And you said black men have it.
I
black
think we
men's back
pick up
more?
each other more than women pick up us. Yes.
Oh,
Look, when
okay.
we're out here every day, look.
That shit.
Dude, look, check this out. When we get on social media daily, right? It's okay for black women to say, niggas ain't shit. Niggas ain't shit, right? But if a black man says one thing about a woman is, you're disparaging women. You're disparaging women. Y'all are able to say whatever y'all want to say about us. Niggas ain't shit. Just want to live in your house. Don't want to work. Y'all able freedom to say that.
I was honestly say that, you know, at this time.
That ain't having our back.
With the Me Too movement and stuff like that, black women has been put on a pedestal now. Where, you know what I'm saying, people are caring about the needs of women.
And at times
black
will
women.
step on black men to get up on that
Right.
pedestal.
I mean, honestly, you look at it now with all the movements that went on, black women are being pushed to the front. I mean, you can say,
look, a black woman, any woman don't, but a black woman can say, he beat me up and hit me, right? And it cannot be true, and that man going to jail, right? Then if it comes out, then it's true, right? There's no punishment for her for doing that. There's no punishment for that. But his image is tarnished now because you still gonna have some women thinking, I think you did.
But that's the point I was trying to make when you said that if you bust me in my mouth, and I bust you in your mouth, it wouldn't be nothing bad.
Basically,
but if she bust you in your mouth, you bust her in the mouth, you still gonna look like you the bad guy.
Look, let me give you another example. Look,
that's why.
Hold on, let me give you another example. We saw on live television, right? The world's seen it. When Solange attacked Jay-Z in the elevator, right? Nothing happened, right? Had Jay-Z attacked Solange in that elevator, whether she pressed charges and went to the police or not, right? The video alone would have had him in jail Monday morning.
True. That's the reason why I said, you know what I'm saying, with the situation with Kobe, it's still the same type of thing where if that's
the world we live in.
Right, but
you can be oblivious to it, but that's the world we live in.
But the thing
I'm not
about
oblivious
it is,
to anything.
That's the world we live in. Y'all are by the system. They would rather side with y'all and get us out the way. They'd rather lock us up, shoot us, and kill us.
We already know
over there.
We already know that's what the government does to the black households anyway.
Look, that's what made it so bad when Gayle did exactly what they do. She did exactly what they do. When we take a black man, we can put a black man up here and say, that he got killed today. Why you had to put his criminal record up here? That's exactly what she did.
You did exactly what the racists do.
And I get what you're saying.
They are like, still a black woman, is she?
It's still
Is she?
it's still portraying his legacy.
Right.
What she did was brought up as
Right. Then they say, was she still a black woman? Is she? Is she?
She's still black.
Is she?
She's still black.
Is she?
Yes, she's still black.
But that's the thing.
I mean, because let's look at it a different way.
Go ahead.
Because she's backed by a company of white people.
She works for a white organization.
Right. So it's not per se that she's not a black woman because she's totally black. What they did, they just used her as a scapegoat to get the story.
I don't think they told her to ask that question.
I'm almost for sure that they probably had an agenda for her to touch on this story.
Well, because they've already put out a statement. They knew they were wrong.
Right.
Well,
I mean,
they didn't think they were wrong. They didn't know.
The reason why I feel
like
like they knew what they was doing because that's what they highlighted the most
Okay.
out of the interview.
Okay, people out there, people in this room, answer the question for me, okay? Right. Check this out. Based on public perception right now, right? Much of the world views R. Kelly as a guilty person. Me as well, right? But based on, he hasn't been found guilty. At the time of his interview with Gayle King, he wasn't even arrested yet at that point, right? So, if we're going to talk about media ethics, that she didn't know there was going to be a backlash and CBS didn't know there was going to be a backlash, right? Why is it okay for it to be a backlash against a man that hasn't arrested yet, but it's not okay for one of your employees to face backlash? This is my point, that once you open Pandora's box, you can't put a parameter on what comes out of it now. You can't say, okay, it's cool to post a snippet of someone that makes them look bad. But now you're saying, because you look bad, we can't do this. The rules have to apply for everyone. And that's my argument there.
And I totally agree. I definitely agree with that.
Now we want to pick and choose, oh, well, it's okay to do this in R. Kelly because in our mind, we deem him as guilty. So it's okay. It's okay. But it's not okay to do it for her because she's one of our media personnel. Once you open that box, you can't dictate what comes out of it. If you don't want anything coming out of it, keep that box closed.
Right, and which his legacy and that situation should have been said